welcome back. Let's talk about design intent. Design intent is the measurable and discernible aim of a concept to clearly establish relationship between the concept presented as it relates to the original request from the client. As the designer, you're what the artist Jarell Newman refers to as the conceptual enforcer of your project. It could be argued that there would always be oversight on your project beyond just you with a creative director, or maybe you are the creative director, or maybe you're in a position where there are a lot of people in a room that want to put their thumbprint on your design. This might be a client, a colleague, or even your boss. This is normal and probably won't go away unless you're working for yourself on only pet projects or you have a dream client that trusts your design work completely and gives you that elusive, complete creative control. Personally, I like when I get pushback and insight from outside sources because it lets me know that I'm hitting a boundary or a limit in the designs that I produce. At that point, you no longer have to ask yourself, can I, but rather, how can I, to either design around or design through those limits. But what do you do when you submit your design to a group of people and then you get it back and it looks completely different? This can be a real disappointment. It can and does happen. The best way to deal with this is to arm yourself with information to defend the design in the first place. One of the most strong arguments to maintain the design intent is to back it up with visual proof that relates back to other objective metrics such as cost and dimensions. In another video, I talk about research. Research will inform all of the technical, physical, and aesthetic constraints in your project. It's a critical piece of the design intent protection process, or DIP as I call it. DIP breaks into two steps. The first step is defend. In the defend step, there are a few things you can do to help your designs stay the way they are, or at least inform your clients of why they look the way they do. You can ask yourself and the client, does this concept in question align with the initial request of the project? Is it aligned with the research and inspiration and keywords? And do the request changes contradict these at all? Is there room for compromise or interpretation? The second phase is rebuttal. Once the information is given to the client, it can really fall into one of three outcomes. Either you'll have to fold and the concept has changed and there's really no defending it. You can compromise where the concept has changed slightly but with less change than requested, or you can hold. The concept is kept as it is based on a strong argument that the changes will adversely affect the design request, the research, the inspiration, and keywords. This can be a big challenge to young designers because ultimately the boss will make the final call. Sometimes your designs may need to fluctuate in order to bend to the will of larger parties. A great example of this, years ago, CCD was tasked to design an exhibit space for a client that required a matching set of hospitality decks with staircases. The client shot back that the stairs needed to rotate towards the aisles versus the booth space. Although the booth side would have looked better, but by framing the design intent to make the space not only look better but function better, the client was able to understand that the requested change was probably not the best choice and had us leave it as we had designed it. This method of making sure that colleagues and clients are keeping the design intent in place by using qualifiable information will help assure that your designs aren't being compromised, well, as much as can be helped. Send me some of your thoughts. How do you manage design intent? Are you a seasoned veteran of balancing politics and design, or are you a younger designer that just wants to design a couple of concepts that rise to the surface of a presentation? What have you done to fight for your design? Let me know. Send me some thoughts on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll post some of the best insights and projects. Thanks so much. Have a great day.